earlier today, the Court of Appeal dismissed applications by the lawyers representing the former National Signals Bureau Director General, that's Governor Adu-Boahene, and his wife in one case, as well as lawyers for the former CEO of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, that's a GIF, in the Accra SkyTrain criminal trial. Now, these applications sought to overturn High Court rulings on further disclosures of documents. So what does this mean, right? And I want to get into it, especially taking into cognizance how these two cases have evolved over time. Dennis Babari-Wadam Esquire is an officer of the court. He has been monitoring this quite closely. What does this development mean? Let's start off with the Adu-Boahene case.
Well, so it simply means that the case which is before the High Court will proceed uninterrupted. That's because these were interlocutory matters that the Court of Appeal had to deal with. That's because you recall that during the trial at the High Court, there was an application for the Attorney General to disclose, as the accused persons want, further information. That is to say, they wanted the full complement of documents that the Attorney General was going to use to prosecute them, in specific reference to some detail of statement of accounts from the national security. For the accused persons, they wanted the information right from 1992 till date. But it was the case of the Attorney General that the case before the court is in respect of a specified period of time, and that's the matters from 1992 till date were not the matters that were in contention, but just matters from 2017 up till 2024. Right. So that has been the matter. The High Court dismissed that particular application, which meant that the Attorney General was not under any obligation to disclose that information. Dissatisfied with that, they filed two applications. One, which was determined last week, that was in respect of the prohibition application. That is to say, the ruling that the High Court made in respect of that smacks of bias for which he should be prohibited from hearing the matter. That matter was determined by the Supreme Court last week, and it was determined by way of a dismissal unanimously. The other leg of it had to do with an appeal at the Court of Appeal. That was determined today. The Court of Appeal too also dismissed that particular application. What it now means is that they have to go back to the High Court and continue with the trial.
I see.
In respect of the SkyTrain matter, a similar application had been mounted in respect of, for Solomon Asamoah, the former CEO of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. In his case, he was asking that the Attorney General discloses board meeting minutes. Because recall, the crux of that matter is that the CEO, together with the board chair, they had approved certain funds, 2 million Ghana cedis, to be sunk into this particular project. That we did not see the project, but the money was paid.
True.
And the case of the Attorney General is that this money was not approved by the board. So then, it is the case of the accused person in this particular matter, that's Solomon Asamoah, that in helping me to defend myself, disclose, in addition to all the information you want to put before the court, the minutes, all the minutes of the board meetings.
So as to then
help me. Because it is the accused person's right that you are entitled to full disclosure.
Absolutely.
Now, that was also denied by the High Court. That is the matter which they also took to the Court of Appeal to appeal the decision of the High Court. That today, the Court of Appeal made that determination and they dismissed that matter as well. So what it also means, again, is that they are also back to the High Court to continue with the trial. So, Alfred, these are the updates that are coming by way of the SkyTrain trial and also in respect of the trial of Adu-Boahene and his wife.
So essentially what this means is that the legal, for the lack of better expression, impediments in the way of these two cases that truncated its procession have been removed.
As it stands now, yes, it's fair to say so.
So the cases will proceed as expected? The
cases are expected to proceed. But also remember that every now and then, interlocutory matters come up. There are always filing of processes. And in the absence of any, the expectation is that the trial will continue to proceed. So that is where we find ourselves now when it comes to these two particular matters, Alfred.
Interesting stuff. And then, so we'll see how the coming days will look like on this.
Precisely. And this week, of course, we're in court on some of these matters. We're keeping our tabs on and we'll bring our viewers up to speed with the latest in respect of these matters.
We'll keep an eye on this one. Dennis Popewa Esquire, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on this. And it's going to stay with me a bit further because